Trailer. What's up, guys? My name is Ojalix. We're going to be reacting to Nakon's Gollum announcement that is going to be happening here in about 15 minutes. But before we do that, I'm just going to be going over some of the things from previous trailers and such. This will be mostly an unedited reaction video. If you guys want to watch the full thing, you don't have to. You feel free to watch the whole thing, almost as like a podcast style. Otherwise, there will be a link. There will be timestamps for you to be able to just skip ahead to the actual announcement itself that we'll be watching live and reacting to live. So feel free to go ahead and watch those. But before we actually get into the actual announcement itself, we're just going to be going over different things, starting with the gameplay reveal trailer, since the gameplay is the big sort of point of context that is going to be happening within this video. Also, I'm listening to a Lord of the Rings lo-fi from Ambient Worlds. There will be a link to that down in the description below if you guys want to listen to that as well. So, diving into, this is the gameplay reveal trailer. This is specifically the one that was posted on the PlayStation YouTube channel about 8 months ago. And my initial reaction to this was, we didn't really get much. I was a little bit nervous. There was a lot of things that I thought were kind of cool, like some of these aesthetics look great, but in terms of what the actual mechanics of the game are going to be looking like, we didn't really get much other than that it's going to be a stealth game. Like you can see, there's a lot of stealth elements that are going to be very, very relevant throughout this game. You kind of get an idea of some of the characters. Sorry, I just have something in my mouth. But you get an idea of what some of the characters and the locations are going to look like. Like you can see the Elven's Hall of Mirkwood. There's going to be some distraction techniques. And then, yeah, so there's a lot of things that honestly we just don't know. You can see that, like, obviously there's a underwater breathing. Like, a lot of basic mechanics were being showcased in this. There wasn't a lot of in-depth knowledge that was given out. Which is both a good and a bad thing. Like, you don't want too much information. See, like, that's already the end of the trailer. And what did we see from it when we get into the actual gameplay part of it? So, there's only about a minute for gameplay reveal, which is not much time really at all. And as you look at it, you can see that there's stealth mechanics. Ooh. Big shocker. There's stealth. And then, like, that's really about it. And in terms of what they reveal, there's a distraction technique that you can see with throwing rocks. There's parkour or platforming of some sort. What that exactly looks like, we don't really know. It does look like that there are going to be things with, like, purple butterflies on them that are going to probably symbolize how climbable they are. See, like, you can see. So this is something, I'm also analyzing this from a possible, like, speedrunning point of view as to what we'll be expecting. But you can see, on the thing that he's ledge grabbing, you can see there's, like, a purple, pinkish lineup thing here. And with that, we don't really know, like, my assumption is that anything with this sort of lineup here, that is going to be what's going to be climbable, what is not going to be climbable. Exactly how that is going to go, if that's the finalized product, we don't know yet. But, I mean, I would assume that would be a relatively safe assumption. I can't imagine that would be a not safe assumption to have in an instance like this. I'm going to actually turn the music down just slightly on stream. Pop over here, give this a quick refresh, see if they're live yet or not. Does not look like it, which is fine. So, like, those are kind of some of the things that we're seeing right now. And then, again, more just kind of a lot of showing off of the art of the game, which, like, don't get me wrong, the game looks good. Like, it has a good aesthetic to it. It's just a matter of, I want to know a little bit more in-depth as to what the game is going to look like. I have been looking forward to this game since, like, 2019. Like, that's how long I've been waiting for this. I remember seeing this initially being announced and was so hyped for it. So now I'm just kind of like, we're at a point where it's actually becoming reality. And now I just don't know. I'm so nervous. So here's the story trailer. This is kind of what gives us an idea of what's going on. Which, like, we know that Gollum is obviously looking for the ring. This is post-Hobbit. But there's something else going on, if I'm remembering correctly.
The darkness grows beyond our borders. My people are growing anxious.
And we know...
We cannot let this evil linger among us, Gandalf.
The Dark Lord. What did you tell him?
Nothing. I swears.
It looks like this is a lot of, like, gearing up for the events of the Fellowship of the Ring.
The creature. Bring it back. Kill it, if need be.
Well, actually, thinking about it...
Find help. He mustn't see us. No.
So...
Him. Don't be scared.
So, something I'm really curious about. I'm trying to remember when Gollum... So... That was in the year 3017 of the Third Age. Okay, so this is important to know. This game actually is going to be taking place like right at the very beginning of Fellowship of the Ring. It's not going to be taking place during it's not going to be taking place during the events of The Hobbit or like shortly after The Hobbit. Oh, of course, they're at PAX. I knew I should have gone to PAX. But honestly, like, yeah, so this is going to be happening here within like, what, 7 minutes? I think I might have actually started a little too early. There's so many things I want to talk about. I have so many questions. But yeah, anyway, going back to the story. The story for this game is going to be taking place shortly after the Fellowship of the Ring begins. So this is going to be taking place during the time that, like, Gandalf has left from the Shire to go learn about the ring. So to kind of give you guys a little bit of background context in this, because they're going significantly more based off of the books than they are the movies. They're obviously showing at least some familiarity with the movies to kind of cater towards that audience, but it's more based around what happened within the events of the Fellowship, within the events of the Lord of the Rings books. And so with that, what we're going to be seeing is kind of giving this a little bit of context. If you're familiar with the events that happened in the movie, I don't know if it's gonna... So, like here, I'll pull it up as a clip from the movie. as this kind of like shows off a little bit of what we're expecting here. So this is the events of what goes on during the movie. This is like the movie side of things, which I know I'm going to get copyrighted for this, but it's fine. I'll be able to get that copyright claim lifted. Anyways, so, yo, what's up, Smelly? So, Gandalf is here in the Shire, alright? And this is him learning about, like, knowing that obviously there's something funky going on with Bilbo's ring. It's not like your normal ring. I don't think Gandalf at this point, in the movie at least, realizes that it's the One Ring, but I think he has his suspicions because he knows that Bilbo has had this since at least the events of The Hobbit. So go ahead and I'll turn this up for you guys.
For so long about leaving. I didn't think he'd really do it. Gandalf?
Bilbo's ring. He's gone to stay with the elves. He's left you bare-handed. Along with all his possessions. The ring is yours now. But it's somewhere out of sight.
Where are you going?
There's some things that I must see to.
What things?
Questions. Questions that need answering.
You've only just arrived. I don't understand.
Neither do I. Keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Okay, so this is important, okay? So in the movie, you see it shift here. Now you're getting like the instance of Gollum revealing where he says Shire Baggins can come. You get this entire series of clips here. And then later on, Gandalf comes back and reveals, you know, he's here in Minas Tirith, okay? Which I'll provide a little bit more of. Ah, shoot, they're live now. Okay. Okay, so I'll continue to talk about this. So Gandalf leaves and goes to learn about the ring, okay? But he's gone for like 12 years, for like 17 years. He's gone for a long time. And so with that, he leaves and then comes back. And the game is going to be taking place during these 12 years, during these 17 years. That honestly is kind of the only way that this can really be accurately described. So, for those of you guys who are in chat, if you don't want to watch it, kind of slightly delayed, check it out here. I will be posting a link to it periodically. Yeah, that's when the game takes place. At least that's my assumption. I don't know if that's like actually where they're gonna go with it. We probably won't honestly find out until the game actually comes out. But that is my assumption, is that it would take place during that time. Because honestly, that's the only time period that really kind of makes sense. Because it's after The Hobbit while Gandalf is searching for Gollum. So, which is during, if they're sticking with accuracy within the book, that would be when they would want to do it. When does my wife come back from class? This is what I want to know. I don't think it's till like 3, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it won't be too close to 3. Okay. So this is a pre-recorded thing. Oh, geez. Okay, okay.
Lord, what did you tell him?
Nothing. I swears.
The Lord sent me, his emissary, to oversee matters in person. The creature. Bring it back. Kill it if need be.
Hey there, and welcome to our first gameplay showcase for The Lord of the Rings Gollum. Today we will unveil when The Lord of the Rings Gollum will be released and
Yo, we're getting a release date!
Directly captured from the game itself. My name is Bernd, and I am part of the Dedelic crew that shows you around the game and
Holy cow, guys.
background story
We're getting an actual release date.
of today's footage. Before we go into the game, let me tell you a little bit about The Lord of the Rings Gollum. The game you will see today is in beta, so you can expect some more publishing in the future builds, especially around movement, camera, controls, and graphics. And I want to start with a little more background for you regarding our main character. Gollum is a long-lived creature that knows Middle-earth like no other. He's very agile and strong, so verticality, parkour, and secrecy play a role, but we are concentrating on the story, the lore, and especially exploration of parts of Middle-earth that have been hidden to you so far. So the Lord of the Rings Gollum is in that sense an action adventure. Important for us is that we took every effort to be close to the lore without altering it. We took our freedom where we tell untold stories, but never change anything about the existing story. The beauty about Gollum's story is that we can make use of his two personalities leading to moral choices and also connect the dots between the main storyline, showing you what happens in Mordor and other places while they prepare for war. We took great care to show the world how Gollum perceives it, be it characters, enemies, beasts, or landscape.
This is going to be so
The
interesting.
game plays roughly between Gollum leaving the Misty Mountains and somewhere around the Fellowship entering Moria. But that's already enough talk. Please look for yourselves. We hope you enjoy your trip to Middle-earth, and thank you for your swords, your bows, and your axes. And so I have with me today Demiri, which is the co-author of The Lord of the Rings Gollum. And welcome, Demiri. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us in this pre-recorded session today. And please introduce yourself and say a few words about how a typical day of a co-author would look like.
Hi, I'm Demiri. I work in the narrative department. Of course, we have to think about the narrative, but the story. We develop the characters, the side characters, the quests. We think about what kind of materials they use in Barad-dûr and what kinds of materials are not used. A typical day is a question, starting with a question, and I have to do a lot of research. And then usually it has to do with art departments or game design. That's usually what I do. There are some tricky bits where we have to think like, what would the professor do?
So I was pretty
Story.
accurate with the
Just
timeline on
gave us
this.
some hints, but
Because I'm pretty sure...
you already said, Bernd, there's a lot that we can rely on, and there's a lot of lore actually that is already present. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, and with that, we can go into the footage itself. So,
there's going to be so much here.
Directly captured from the game is shown. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and we will make a few remarks and comments about this very shortly. So please sit back and enjoy while we start. So starting the footage now.
Without me, eyes are marbles. No darkness they see. Faces look garbled. No flurry they feel. No
Yes.
Good, some good fish, huh?
Gollum is one of his hideouts.
This is so...
Not only fish, but also strange things that he collected. And we start with a riddle. As you all know, Gollum loves riddles, and he's particularly fond of one. That has to do with his story and with the whole game.
Okay, so if this is at the very... Ooh.
Change of space. Here we are in a different place. Or a different perspective. Yes, Gandalf. We had to choose a little different design because this is based on the books. So, as you already said, Bernd, the design is also based on the lore, and of course, it's Gollum's perspective of things. Gollum perceives people differently than other people. He perceives the elves as cruel and flashing eyes. He perceives Mordor, the place where we know he went to.
That is the tutorial now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a tutorial. Besides learning our skills and introducing the player to the basic gameplay, we also get the first glimpses of a dangerous and dark place. As you know, Sauron called all the foul beings certain stage to Mordor when he revealed himself, and Gollum, searching for the ring, suddenly changed his...
Oh, don't buffer on me. Come on. Okay.
Went also south. Mm-hmm. Here we can see Gollum climbing.
Yeah.
He's very strong.
It skipped ahead. I'm a little
He's
upset.
like really good climber, and I love the view there.
Okay, so
Little
I
huts
don't really
there,
care
the
too
little
much about
orcs,
what
I
they're
guess.
talking about, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep it a little bit quieter. So there's a sprint mechanic and a long jump.
Mordor are protected. That there are some guards. There are not a lot of ways you can enter, or you can actually go along. Yeah, here are birds. Animals play a very important role in Tolkien's writing. And whatever is...
The detail on Gollum's face is actually really well done, and this is still like not final.
Also, the footage is not consecutive, so there are cuts in between the footage. So if there's like other stuff coming, that's always like a new part of the gameplay to show.
It's more like a teaser footage. That's a
Indeed.
beetle. It's a beetle. You can see Gollum sort of hunting for it. He's also mesmerized by it.
Interesting.
As you said, there's two parts of him. The one that still reconnects to nature. We know that once he left the Misty Mountains, he also got stronger and, so to say, back to life. And you can actually choose how he behaves, which side of him gets the stronger development, and that's quite important for the story. You literally decide who's gonna live and who's gonna die, and it's also gonna bring you troubles.
Yeah, and that's one of the parts where Gollum needs to be very stealthily to not get caught.
Fans will maybe recognize a little bit of this part. Not this part exactly, but later on.
Guys, we're immediately starting out with a tailing mission.
Spider cleft, and yes,
Assassin's Creed fans are gonna love it.
You have to be careful. You have to sneak around. You can sometimes also fight opponents, but they, as we know from the Misty Mountains, he sometimes throttled an orc, but small ones and not heavy soldiers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that makes it sound like there's going to be at least some combat, which is good.
The style that we chose to represent Mordor, of course, it's cruel, and there are a lot of sharp edges.
I love the design. I really love it.
Yeah, I also love it. We have a very, very good artist, a good art department. A hell of a work. Yeah. Some spider webs.
Yeah, I wonder what these webs are.
Okay, so
where these
there's
webs
definitely
come from.
interaction with Shelob coming up.
Who is doing these kind of another orc patrol.
Yeah, that's the patrol. We are following them because we are afraid that they might reveal something. Gollum is constantly, so to say, on the run. Nobody really loves him.
No.
He needs to love himself, but he also, the Smeagol side, tries to find friends, and he finds friends depending on your choices. Good and strong friends to help him out because he can never do it alone. He's too small. But just as Bilbo,
Oh man.
Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, he's a small creature, ancestor of the hobbits, and that's good because he can hide. Like here, he can sneak around. Nobody is really interested in him, and that gives us the possibility to show things. And Gollum can enter almost every place. I mean, he's one of those creatures that saw the Dark Lord and still lives.
So what's
Okay,
happening
so
now?
there's gonna be some like force
It's dark for the orc, so
distractions.
he can't see, and then
Yes,
Oops.
yes. That's a trick. He can throw things. He can.
Is this gonna give me like Hitman vibes in terms of the creativity of how you can handle certain situations?
And we just knocked out a candle, or knocked out some light.
Oops, who's that?
Yeah, who might that be? Yes, we know of his fascination with.
Oh,
with
another famous character.
Oh.
There.
Yes, actually a pretty. If you think about it, these fell beasts, which were mentioned in the Lord of the Rings, must have grown before. Sauron must have raised them. And we decided to show them inside of Mordor, but not outside because he's keeping them back for his war. But Gollum being there, he makes.
Ooh, oh my
another
gosh, the Nazgul looks
bad
so good.
experience.
Yeah, getting captured again.
Yes. So we already know he will enter Barad-dûr, and too sad. That's There's a sort of frame story, a little story to when Gandalf.
Oh.
mentions him. You know that from the Lord of the Rings that he actually did. He mentions to Frodo, and he also mentioned that it was very difficult to get anything out of Gollum, so that gives us some freedom to interpret this.
Yeah,
and to leave
that's cool.
the player the
I love
the
how
choice.
you all do all these little nuances.
Yeah.
And now, since you were talking about, looking for stuff, so this is inside Mordor, right?
This is inside Barad-dûr even. As you can see, Gollum now is not hunted anymore. He's a prisoner. But being very clever and slimy and knowledgeable, he also knows how to manipulate people. And he very soon gets the hang of it. Yeah. Again, depending on how you play him. And we get to see one of the more like central rooms.
Barad-dûr looks so good.
Yes.
Yes.
So it looks like I love how you made Barad-dûr rather cultivated. I must say
it's quite a huge place, and you must also think, or you might have to realize that Sauron cannot just like do it all alone. He needs a clockwork to do his.
I'm absolutely mesmerized by this. I'm not really paying attention to what they're saying, to be honest.
Really, that's a very interesting picture.
I love that.
Oh.
Understand what this is about. Yeah, it has something to do with one of the central characters in Barad-dûr, which is a sort of spy master. Of course, Sauron needs to.
Is that Sauron?
We know that he has some birds on his.
Is that Elendil?
And and one of these spy masters is called the Candle Man.
Mm-hmm.
See, you can hear too the interaction between Gollum and Smeagol is happening.
Of course, he's torturing people and he's trying to.
He needs the candle to bring some light into the situation. Of
yes, this is a very dark part of Sauron. Sauron also has a light. It's also talking about light.
That stained glass window looks so good.
From Moria, this flame of Udun, Gandalf calls the Balrog. And we know that Morgoth also looked for light and has a sort of his own light, but it's not a very nice
Was that a map?
I like the map. I think I remember where
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, Gollum sometimes gets these little glimpses of what people do, and
Yeah.
we inserted the map here in the big map room
Yeah.
because we thought, from time to time, maybe the spy master
Ooh.
also wants to have a look at where are the troops, where do we have to
The
stay.
Eye of
This
Sauron.
war room look it has.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I like that. And we just missed this nice artwork of Barad-dûr, the tower with the eye. So yeah, there's like lots of stuff in the game like that. So
Of course, we had to make some compromises sometimes. You just saw these vertical
Okay, so
lines,
there's
but
Gollum's
they
health.
are usually a little bit a hint for the player where he can climb. So we inserted a few. We worked with the lighting and so on to help the player looking for the right places. And
Yep.
Gollum also has a special skill we call this a Gollum sense. So if you can activate that, you can also it helps you finding your way around.
Gollum sense.
and these dark corners again, it's not like final quality, but you can hide.
Aww.
Jump to another scene. Gollum actually gets to hatch his own little bird, and it's very nice. Again, although he's in Barad-dûr and he needs his Gollum side, Smeagol also is important, and in creating or hatching and protecting this little being, this side of him actually is reactivated, and this bird plays a very important role.
Candleman.
It's important how
Who is that? That's not the mouth of Sauron.
yeah, here we can see the spy master, the Candleman, talking about his
Ernur.
past. Of course, he's, as we know, that many men also joined the Dark Lord, even some of the Numenors, and so he is sort of thinking about his past, his people, where he came
It's
from.
amazing. I love that. I love the scene.
Again, as Gollum, you get to know a lot.
Interesting.
And you can, again, use that for your advantage if you're clever.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
The Candleman also has a daughter. I don't know whether we'll see it.
Yeah, I don't care about what you're saying, dude. I want to hear what they're saying.
She comes in here, but
I'm sorry, that sounded really
she's
mean.
A very strong believer in
that.
Sauron. Yes.
I love you did that.
See, at
Wait.
He will shoot. You probably know this king.
Yeah.
And there's a famous story.
Is he the king?
About
No.
Condor and yes. And, his place on his past and his problems. He's not such a strong believer as his daughter. But again, Gollum can use that.
Yeah, it's great that it's not
If you're
like
clever,
simple
you don't-
characters all the way.
You don't.
Is the
you don't have
Candleman
to
a
be
Ernur?
a hardcore fan to play this, to know this. It will be all explained and
Yeah, but now to some more nicer realms.
yes, that's another central part of Gollum's journey, Gollum's quest.
Very beautiful
is,
as well.
the halls of the Elven King, the Elven Kingdom, we call it, in Mirkwood. As we know that they should have kept him. And
we know the story.
from the Council
And
of
we
Elrond.
show how it's happening.
Yes, we know from the Council of Elrond that he actually entered, that they actually watched him, and that he sort of escaped. But we made a quite interesting story out of it. It's just not all to it, because of course you also wonder how on earth did he manage.
Oh,
You can already see that the elves, after some time, at the beginning, they are quite hostile.
okay. So they gave you a distinct
Yeah, he has
personality
only
choice
enemies
there.
against him, right?
Yes, and but after a while, they try to make him more comfortable and.
So there are definitely things that you have to collect. I wonder if there's any way you can like
and
upgrade
Gollum, of course,
things.
uses that opportunity.
So we
Yeah, we can also collect food because we need something, especially fish,
yeah, of
to
course.
regain our vitality.
Yeah, the good
We can
fish.
get hurt. We can get hurt. We can also die in the game. So then we have some spots where you can Go back to some saving spots. Yeah, be careful of those lamps. That's not such a good idea.
Yeah, I was lucky.
And the
it was
elves
lucky
have-
the other way. So when I played it, it's like, okay, just hit in there and like find my way around it. So
Yeah, you could have
Oh.
hit this
container there,
thingy.
right?
Yeah. And that was
But it works that way too. So
yes, there are many ways you can.
Okay,
also,
my wife is actually calling.
Sneak. You can hide. You can climb. You can choose your ways. You should also listen carefully to what people say. So if you hide a bit behind those boxes and just
especially
listen to
here,
her.
I like how she's like preparations for the party and for the great feast. And so there I try to like maybe hit her too, but then I try to let's be a little bit more bold.
You saw this shadowy bit. That's a place where you can hide very well.
Yeah. So I got her attention there, but I was quick enough to go away and was lucky there as well. So no.
Yeah, actually, you can't really kill elves because they very soon spot you. So you have to be more careful, especially if you're doing things you're not supposed to do, like now.
So you're a little bit further in the level, like you have several possibilities there, like go more the stealth route, or there's another route where you can do more parkour and like wall runs and stuff like that. So, but here I chose to go rather stealthy way, a little bit like going around or waiting till they look the other way.
Yes, there are some guards here. They actually are not necessarily looking for Gollum, but as you know, the Elven King has a very well defended castle or caves. Realm, and for his people,
Okay, I've been missing some stuff.
Very capable soldiers and fighters. But
that's just because
the elves love
somebody
it,
should
they
catch
use
me up here. I also have to make one more phone call, so give me a second.
whatever. So they're not that, as you can see, they're also not that attentive or dangerous.
Yeah, so taking care of Gollum. So this is now like a part where there's a little bit more jumping, like for a short time now.
Yeah, more like a parkour area. We can see
really steep and like deep below.
Yeah, Gollum of course tries to find a way out. Is not so easy as he thought. And you have this is quite far in the game, so you already know how to do all those climbing.
And this is the Elven Palace, the Thranduil's Palace from outside.
Yeah. Yes, very nice design. Of course, it's quite big. Yeah. So again, Gollum is very strong, very tough. He tries to get past it. Yes, and it's very beautiful. Also, sometimes you get these spots where you can look far out into the surrounding. We can see famous and sites of Middle-earth, of course, in our interpretation. But from time to time we get also these high spots where we can, of course, if we're doing the parkour thing, we need that to, especially if we have some enemies around, to know where we should be going.
And all of a sudden, up there is a fish. And he gets caught again.
Yes, Gollum really has a hard time, and you as a player have to think quite fast. But you get hints. Yeah, here you got caught again. These elves will just bring you straight back.
Yeah, exactly. So I love what's happening here. Because we meet someone from before.
Yes. As I already said, this is the bird, a bit grown, as you can see. Of course, Soren uses dark magic and terrible practices to make things to grow faster and stuff like that. But that particular bird is quite useful.
Okay. And you can like breed different ones. So that was the footage so far. And I hope you guys liked it a lot. So, but we are not done yet. We have, of course, a few questions. We know most of you people want to ask, so we go about that. So, Tamiri, one question which is like kind of the elephant in the room. What do you think? What do you think? Why
Okay,
did you guys...
so I know I missed a lot, but that's
tell the
okay.
story
I was
of-
seeing
of
some
Gollum?
stuff. I might have to go back and double check at that
Yes,
section.
I said before that, like
There was
like,
wall
Bilbo
running,
in The Hobbit,
I think is what I'm seeing that you
or
said,
Frodo
Smelly.
in The Lord of the Rings. Gollum is not the kind of superhero. He's not a wizard or a sword-wielding Dunedain. He's small, he's clever.
And then there
just like we
is
experienced
the stamina
story
meter.
from
I
the
did
point of view
notice.
of an ordinary person in Bilbo, and later with his
So that's
nephew
cool.
Frodo, who already knows a little bit about elves and so on from his uncle. With Gollum, we have the same possibility.
It
we have a
looked like
person
you're going to
that's
be
quite
learning some
tough,
of your parkour
strong,
abilities as you
because
go.
it's a torn soul, but he has the possibility to experience this world of riddles and magic and wonder. And we, as a player, as well. So we get this kind of perspective, which was quite useful. In the beginning, we also thought, like, okay, is Gollum a good choice? Let's see. He has also a lot of skills. Like Aragorn says, he's a good woodsman, a good waterman. And that's actually very helpful in the game. As you could see, it's a sort of epic adventure game with stealth elements. So it enabled us to tell the story from the perspective of a person who doesn't really know everything about Middle Earth, and and also to because he traveled places everywhere. He can enter Mordor. I mean, with an elf barrier, yeah, good luck. So yeah, he can go to places. We can show a lot, and also the time frame is quite good because after leaving the Misty Mountains until he follows the company in Moria, it leaves us roughly 70 years. And what has Gollum been doing all this time? And of course, we know from Gandalf and also by Gollum himself later on when he travels with Sam and Frodo, we know a bit. And but
This
some
and
of
that,
these,
here and there.
yeah, but some of Gandalf's assumptions are guesses. And of course, Tolkien also writes in his letters and other books about him. But yeah, we had some leeway here, and we connected that with the story that that Tolkien wrote in The Lord of the Rings. And
They are referencing a
with,
lot of source
Gollum
material,
as,
which I think is really good.
with Gollum's story.
Yeah, but that's cool. So we are like Gollum is usually a rather mean character at some point. At least sometimes you think he's just a very mean person. But you know, is it really like that? What do you think about Gollum being a nasty creature?
Yes, of course, some of the fans were not so pleased and said, oh, why you take this creature? And as Sam said, he is a slinker or a stinker. So that's a hard start.
Yeah.
But actually, Gollum also has a heart, and he has his own backstory. And after a while, we found out that this we made him also a bit cuter. So as you might have noticed, because we have to look at him all the time, but after a while we can see that that's actually an advantage, and we can also take this Smeagol and Gollum sides of him. There's these two personalities, one that's tortured by the ring but strong and tough, and the other one that wants to have friends and actually remembers his past life. We could use that to tell a very good story. And as you know, Tolkien himself, one of his first recordings, or of the early recordings at the BBC, he actually read the passage with Bilbo and Gollum. So it's quite an important character. And also for other reasons, he's not that nasty and he's not that evil.
I feel like we still
Sauron.
really don't know that much.
Which is, it sort of makes him maybe not a real big hero, but who is?
Yeah, indeed. So it's not always like the big heroes that make for the best stories in my mind, but more like coming to another topic we shortly already touched upon, and that is where the game is happening in the whole storyline of the Lord of the Rings and the world of Middle Earth. So how does the Lord of the Rings Gollum fit into the story of the books? Maybe you can shed some light on that
Yeah,
too, please.
I already said
I
something
want to
about
know
that.
what the
It
Twitch
fits
chat
very
is
nicely.
thinking right now.
Just between the spaces, we have the license for the book, so we have to stick to the Lord of the Rings, the story of the book. But our story also takes part in places that we know, like already from The Hobbit, like the Mirkwood, the realm of the elves. It also takes place in parts that have never been visited, because, as I said before, if you would
Or
be a
maybe I should do it
Dunedain
on
and
Akon.
be caught in
I don't know.
Mordor,
I'll just
probably
add
would
them.
be dead. But Gollum makes it, and we can show places that only he saw, and now the player gets to see them. And yes, also the world, Middle Earth itself, is sort of very important asset of the game. So we also see Middle Earth in a version that Gollum perceives it. And this world and the whole legendarium behind it plays a major role in the story, as well as Gollum himself.
Cool, but is there so coming more to the game itself? Is the game related to other Lord of the Rings games, or is it a standalone title?
No, not so far that I know. There's, I think, no relation. Because there are parts of the game or parts of the story, because of course we all base our stories, even the movies of Peter Jackson, they are based on the books. So yes, you will maybe know other interpretations, for example,
There we go.
of Shelob.
Yes, I just added them on Twitter
Which
to possibly
I
work on
personally
something.
don't like so much, but our interpretation is really
You
nice.
are a secret. You are a spy master yourself. You're a very secret person.
Yeah.
When it comes to infos about the game, so
But
okay. That's
yeah.
more reason to play it, and not. It's good to not have
Yeah,
spoilers.
in
right?
our game, the interpretation, of course, is very closely to Tolkien's ideas and visions of her.
Yes.
And as you know, she is a spawn of.
Probably about to
big
say just the
evil
two of us
spiders
streaming Gollum right now.
Yeah, that come in other tales.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And
Can't say
one
more.
last big. So two questions left, and the one last more for game. One question more about gameplay, and the last question we will finally answer when the game will be coming out. So but first of all, so we have seen that Gollum do all these tricks with the elven guards and throwing rocks, and can you tell us a little bit about what other tricks Gollum has in store to survive in this harsh world?
Yeah, we also had a short talk about that in the beginning of the video. Yes. So, first question is, can he actually force his way through? Answer is no. So you have to be on your toes. You have to climb, sneak around, hide in shadows. From time to time, you can take down an easy opponent. You can trick them. And you are a very observant creature. So you can, if you watch carefully, if you take your chances, if you hide and watch people, you can manipulate them, and you're quite a crafty and clever little person.
All right.
Yes, so you're a great swimmer, as I said before. You're a good waterman, good woodsman. So we can all use the skills that Gollum has to make him survive.
So I really enjoyed that.
So yeah, there's definitely going to be a
things
lot
you
of
did,
creative
so
ways that you're going to have to be
was
handling
an
certain
avid reader,
situations,
I'm still
which is going to make the speedrun a
still
lot more
reading the
interesting
books,
too, because we
and,
can't just brute force our way
and,
through everything and hopefully go
so
fast.
also, but especially, I'm so happy that you guys didn't alter too much of or maybe or even
You can see the
nothing
guy on the left has a lot of Lord of the
story
Rings
itself,
merch.
and
Well,
just took
yeah,
your
from time to
leeway.
time. I mean, this is a video game, so of course we had to do things a bit different since it's a game. But all in all, we were quite. We strongly believe in Professor Tolkien's vision, and we try to transport this feeling. But at the same time, there are some elements that we developed along the lines that he thought, and with his little snippets and ideas he gave us. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the Lord of the Rings fans are about to experience a really nice story in this world, in Middle Earth. So things will see things that they have never seen before, and that have not been told before, and also see places where things are being built that are used in, for example, the Great War. So stuff like that. Not telling you more and spoil too much, but yeah, there's this has not been shown today, but there needs to be some other stuff revealed at some later time for you to enjoy. So
I want the release
this
date.
nearly brings us to the end of our little presentation. Now the question is basically, when will the game be available, and on what platforms? Damir,
Yes,
can you
Ben.
tell us?
Oh, I ask you.
You ask me. That's fine. So I will.
When
I will
will
do
it be
that.
revealed?
Good. So the Lord of the Rings Gollum will be available on May 25th. 2023, so this year, not far away. It will be available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC. A Switch version will also be available, but sometime later. So 25th
May
of
20th.
is the date
Wait.
where you can play for yourselves and stay with us. Follow us on our social channels and lordoftheringsgame.com, so the gollumgame.com, sorry.
Oh my gosh,
And,
that's gonna be
other places you can get all the new stuff, new info.
That's gonna be
and
coming
everything.
out
and,
right before
also,
SGDQ.
Check out the latest,
Like literally 3 days before
trailer
SGDQ
from our
starts.
partners, Naken. So that's really
That's
something
actually
you missed
crazy.
out on that. You should really see that as well. So Damiri, that's it for today. We will surely do something like this in some time again, and very
Chat.
thank you very much. That was like really amazing deep dive. I know there's more, and
Yes.
I will ask for that at some point later. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great day, good night, wherever you are, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
25th. Yo. Oh my gosh, they held my message. Chat, I wanted to send a message, and I got told for no caps. I can't express my hype. And I'm on slow mode. You can only send one message per minute. That's crazy. May 25th, chat, is when this beauty of a game is going to be released. I'm tweeting it out right now. I'm so excited, chat. I'm so excited. Look at that. Immediately. We're tweeting that out so fast. So yeah, I'm pretty much just going to be taking this video. I'm going to make a thumbnail for it. I'm going to slap my intro at the beginning, slap my outro at the end, and I'm going to throw it out. It's going to be very quick. There isn't going to be much editing. So, yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we have just experienced. I'm actually going to pull up some things here, because we did see a lot within the game. They did reveal a lot of really cool things. Okay, we don't need audio. They were talking for like ever. So what it's looking like is like the tutorial section of the game is going to be sort of like reliving his capture in Barad-dûr. Honestly, the movement, I'm really excited for the movement. So like right here, you can see there's going to be like a long jump. If this is how it sticks in this instance here, it does look like you're going to be losing momentum in your long jump, so it's not going to be like Mario 64 where you can just long jump everywhere. There is a stamina meter, which like, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, for like movement possibilities, it's kind of like, meh. I just hope maybe we can find some like infinite sprint meme or something. That would be kind of cool. So there's probably going to be a lot of tailing missions because it's very stealth orientated. There's a lot of climbing, which is going to be really cool. The distraction is going to be super sick. I wonder, I want to know, because it's shown back here at the beginning. Like, when you're hidden, you can see this here. When Gollum is hidden, there's sort of like this dark silhouette that goes around him. I really want to know if we're going to be able to figure out a way to maintain this throughout levels without actually being hidden. Because if we could do that, the possibilities of going fast would be ridiculous. So I'm really hoping we can find something. There's some interactables and things that we saw like in Mirkwood. So more cave stuff. Parkour. So here's a distraction. You can see like there's aiming, you can throw things at enemies to distract them, which I think is super cool. You can throw things at other things. I think there's going to be so many possibilities for creative routing in this. So like, we're gonna skip forward into Mirkwood. Barad-dûr looks amazing, by the way. So yeah, I definitely think that the king here is the Candleman. They definitely set that up. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know, but I want to skip ahead to Mirkwood. So here's Mirkwood. See, like, you can like stray this where you just push it over. And then here, this is something, this right here. This is going to be the key part in the routing. Figuring out whether the Gollum or the Smeagol option will be faster. Is that actually going to be the case? I don't know. But that is the thing that we have to look at as a speedrunning community. Which side is going to be faster? It's going to be pretty crazy to see kind of what this is going to look like. There's a lot of potential for some really cool glitches. If we find anything, honestly. I hope we can. You can find food. Food probably restores your health. Again, more sneaking. There's going to be a lot of parkour. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm really excited. I don't really know what else to talk about, honestly, because they still kind of didn't really show off that much. But yeah, parkour can be fun or it can be really bad. But either way, it's looking like it is going to be a good game, and it is going to be a good speedrun. I'm very, very excited for May 25th. I think they've done a great job at showing, especially in this one specifically, they've done a great job at showing off a lot of cool things without showing off too much. So, like, I definitely think that it's going to be a great game, and I think it's going to be fantastic to watch. So, it's going to be pretty great. Alright, so that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. For all of you guys who are watching on YouTube, going down in the description below will be a link to the video whenever it is up on YouTube for Nakon's side. If you guys are interested in possibly joining in the speedrunning shenanigans, there will be a link to the Gollum speedrunning Discord also in the description below. If you're also watching this on YouTube, feel free to come check me out on Twitch. For those of you guys on Twitch or on YouTube, there is merch available. Of course, right as I gesture to it, it disappears. But I will be putting the merch link in the description below as well. Pick up my Angry Bilbo t-shirt or a Zojalix mug. There will be other merch options available as well as more things come out and possibly get some more ideas. There will also be a link to my Discord in the description below, so if you guys want to check out my Discord and hang out, please do. Thank you guys again so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy. This was an awesome game, and I'm very excited.